What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the YouTube channel, or welcome to the YouTube channel, whichever. If y'all been here before, seen my first video or whatnot. Today I'm gonna show y'all a tutorial on how to fix a Daisy 880 that's not building air pressure. Kind of disassemble it and show y'all how to replace the O-rings and whatnot on them. But yeah, hopefully we got a good video for y'all today. Stay tuned. So here it is, guys, the Daisy 880. I'll show y'all how to fix those. Got the bike and the quad out of the shop. Make some room so I can record this video for y'all. But yeah, only thing you should need is a screwdriver. I got a little screwdriver set here. It should be a Phillips. And the replacement O-rings. That's all you should need. I'm not going to replace O-rings. They're, like I said in the first video, they've been replaced. But yeah, here we go. First thing I want to do is remove these screws on each side. It should come off. I mean, you can take the screw out or not. Set that to the side. Flip it over. Same thing with that. Put your screw back in there so you don't lose your screw or no. Remember where it goes. So guys, once you get these plates off, I don't know the exact name for them. Set them to the side, don't lose anything. You'll have a pin right here. You push it out. Sometimes it's easier to move the lever, pump lever. Don't lose that pin. Just pull it out, set it on your workbench. Next, pull this out. You have these rollers in there as guides. There's two of them. And then there's a pin that holds this together. Just push it out, set it aside. This should be your O-ring. I don't know if that's focused or not. You'll just replace that. And at this point, you can put it all back together and see if it builds pressure now. Sometimes that could be the only bad O-ring. Sometimes they both could be bad. It's up to you whether you want to continue or not. Set everything to the side. Make sure you don't lose anything. So then you'll have to order parts to get it back together. Next, you'll have screws. You'll take all these screws out. There's some on each side. Just remember where the screws go. Because they are different, some of them are different lengths. I don't know if you can see these or not, but size comparison. This one, there's only one of them this long. It goes on the top hole. Once you get all these screws out, actually I take that back, there's two of the long ones, one on each side, one's in the front, one's in the rear. From here, your stock should pull out after you break these apart. Take these covers off. Shouldn't be any pieces that you can lose other than your safety. Well, there's actually 3 parts, but stock will pull out once you get those apart. From here, you got a barrel cover. This is actually just a cover for the barrel. Just wiggle it up and pull it out, and your barrel cover will come off. From here, you got your barrel, actual barrel, and this cover, this black cover. This is just a cover. There's this pin, it already fell out, but it's in this hole right here. You remove it when you remove the black covers, and then your barrel should slide out from that piece. Now guys, I already done this. I already took it apart and replaced the O-rings in it. It was pretty dirty up in here, inside this. I'd already cleaned it up. But what you'll want to do on yours is definitely clean it all. For sure. Get all the debris and stuff out. Now this is actually what builds your air pressure right here. This pump chamber, I don't know what the exact name of it is. But as you can tell, this rod comes in here and it builds pressure. You can tell it's good because it sucks it back. Now, pull it out, and this, just wiggle it off. Mine, it was pretty filthy in there. I don't know how debris and stuff got in it, but this is the other O-ring. You want to change that. Now this is just O-ring replacement. This ain't these other seal replacements. That's all I'm showing y'all. There is other seals, but I didn't replace them. Like I said, I just cleaned them up real good and put new O-rings in it. That's all I did to this. So you put this back on after you replace your O-ring, whatnot. You just slide this back on. And a way to check to see if your O-rings that you replaced is good, just put the pump back in it, slide it down, and pull it. And if it returns like that, well, I pulled too much. But if it returns like that, you know you did a good job on replacing O-rings and they're good, tight fit now. So you pull that back off, back out, and this you line back up. Put your barrel through it. Now, there we go. It's kind of a puzzle. Then put your barrel cover back on. Your screws out of these black covers here, they also go into these and help hold that together once it's reassembled. Kind of take your stock, slide it back in there. Now you may wait on the stock, you may not, it's up to you. You can do it either way. You get these covers. This is the loading side. This is where BB. You just pull that back and the BB falls into it. Just remember which side it goes on. And putting it back in. Actually, I'm getting ahead of y'all. This pin, put back in. It can be a pain to line back up. You just want to make sure you can line it up real good, and there we go. I have it. the stock back on, your safety. The safety will slide back into its little groove. And then this spring here, there's a slot for it. But it's what catches the pump action. There's a little slot for it, and that spring just slides over, and that's what holds your pump action from flopping around. So make sure you don't lose that spring. This is not a necessity, but like I said, your pump action will flop around if you don't have that. So if you do lose that, it's not a big deal, but like I said, your pump action is going to be floating around. Anyway, there's a little hole here next to the safety. It just slides into it. You'll set all this. You'll set the gun on top of this, because if you try to set it on top of the gun, you could have problems like that. That just popped out. Make sure you put that back in. Next thing, well, I just realized it. Another thing with these is the slide for the BBs, where you load the BBs. It likes to come out on you, so it just goes right in there. And make sure you put it down, because if you put it up, leave it open or closed, it has more tendency to fall out. But if you open it in the open position, less chance of it falling out. Like I said, just set these back in there. Like I said, that spring will probably want to come out on you, so you probably do that last. Next is the other side. Your action, you'll want to leave it open, because with it closed, that's got to go into the barrel of the gun, and there's no way you're going to be able to get it in there with it closed. So you'll open it, line everything up. That action you'll probably have to work a little bit to get it to go in. And work it in there, and it should pop right in. There we go, we're all lined up. When you get to this point, I'd take a little break and look at all your parts that you have left to make sure you didn't leave anything out. But I looked, I didn't leave anything out. I'll start with the big screws, because they help hold the stock on. There's two big screws, one on each side. And then you got these other ones that came out of stock, the medium. Screw those into the stock. While you do this, you probably want to hold your hand on here to help hold all this together. You got two of these long screws. They're on the top. One on the front and one on the rear. And you got these little screws. They'll be on the right side of the action side, on the bottom. Then flip it over and repeat the process. Big one. Guys, I'm using a Phillips number 1 on this. I'm sure you can get away with a Phillips number 2. But if not, I do recommend a Phillips number 1 for all the screw heads. They're just about the right size. At this point, what you want to do is take this and put in the gun. Actually, put it on the slide. Like I said, that's the little pin. It's got rollers. There's a little channel in here that these roll on to help guide it and less friction. And it can be a pain to get them in there because nothing holds them. They just sit there. You hold them with your finger and your thumb and slide it into that groove. And then this pin will go in here. I don't think it matters which side it goes on, as long as it's in there. Alright, it's in there. At this point, you want to load it and see if you're building air pressure. If you're not building air pressure, there's no sense in putting it back together. You're just going to have to tear it back down apart. Safety's on. Well, guys, I think I forgot something. Yep. Remember me telling you to look around? That little spring here. It's for the safety. I'm going to tear this back down, put it back in, but I'm not going to put that on camera. I'll just pick up where we left off. Okay, guys, when I was in that the first time, I forgot this little hole right here. There's a spring that sits in that. This little spring here sits in that safety hole. Make sure you check for that when you're reassembling. Remember me telling you not to lose anything? Well, I lost something. A little ball bearing that goes on the safety on that spring. And I lost that. That spring shot it out. I've looked for it and I can't find it. But I'm going to order a new one and put it back in here, so this is a whole complete gun. Hopefully Daisy sells them. If not, I'll probably have to find it on eBay or something. But once you get it back together to this point, you'll put these back on, covers. Now these got a little pin here on each side. You got to line those up as you put it on and make sure they're lined up. So you just slide it. There's a little groove here it slides into. You put it in. There's a, I don't know if you can see it very well, but there's a hook on that. You put it in and slide it on each side. And it can be a pain to line it all up. And then another one is lining that pin up in the front on these. As you can see, I'm having a difficult time. It'd probably help if I took the screw out of this. That would definitely help. And then you'll want to make sure it's lined up before you put the screws in. Now these screws are just held in on each side. They don't go through to the other cover. once you get it all back together, you'll want to load it. Make sure you're building pressure. As you can tell, I am. As I was showing you earlier, that spring here, you don't want to lose it, because that's what holds this together. If you don't have that, that thing is just going to flop on you. As you can tell, my safety still works. It just, there's no real resistance on it. That's what that little ball bearing's for. There you have it, guys. That's how you replace the O-rings on a Daisy Powerline 880. They're pretty good BB gun. They're also a pellet gun. You can load pellets into it. It's just getting a pellet in there. It's tricky, but it still will shoot pellets. You can see it's fully functional. It's where you load your BBs in. Self-explanatory. That's another thing, you don't want to lose that. Make sure you have that, or out in the woods hunting for squirrels or whatever. You don't have that on there, you could lose all your BBs. But yeah, that's it, guys. Hope y'all enjoyed today's video. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Got any comments, drop them below. Let me know if it helped you out or not. But yeah, that's it.